Hey, what's up you guys? If you're towing a trailer with your Lincoln Continental, you'll need to be fitted with the trailer wiring harness. So let's go ahead and get right to it.
You will need the tools seen here to complete this installation.
The trailer wiring harness for a Lincoln Continental has 4 attachment points. One behind the driver's side taillight, one behind the passenger side taillight. There'll also be a ground mounted in the rear cargo area, and then we're also going to attach a wire to the battery that's located in the engine compartment. Okay, so we're going to start in the back by attaching the connectors, and to do that we'll need to take apart the paneling here. Get this paneling out, we're going to have to remove the flooring. We'll go ahead and start doing that. Now the next step, we'll need to remove the center east panel here. To remove this center panel, we're going to need to remove a body clip here, a body clip here. Once those 2 guys are out, we'll be able to just pull straight up on it. So I'm going to take a trim tool and go ahead and remove this, and I'll show you what it looks like once I get it out. I want to be a little patient with these guys. You just work it back and forth and you can see how that comes out. Okay, with those 2 body clips removed, we should be able to just pry straight up. And there'll be a couple clips underneath that you can't see right now. I'm just pulling up as I pry. You can see these are our body clips that we were talking about. They just pull straight out. Now we've got a couple of cargo anchors that I'm going to remove. One on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. Start with our driver's side here. Just got a little lid that you pull right up on. You can see that there's a screw holding it down, so I'm going to take a 8mm ratchet and socket here and screw it. This lid just comes right up to expose the screw holding it down. Again, it's an 8mm socket. Be able to lift right up. Okay, we're back at the driver's side here, and we want to get this paneling here away from the body. I'm going to remove this little foam protector and set it aside. I'm just going to take my trim tool here and just start prying at it. We should find some body plugs back here that are just unclip. So we have a hidden clip behind here on the inside of the paneling and a hidden clip up here on the inside of the paneling as well. So basically we got to push this forward towards the front of the vehicle away from the body, and then grab the bottom and pull straight out. And then we'll be able to expose the other hidden clip, and I'll show you how we can take that out. Now we're getting the clip right on the top of the trunk area. There it is. That'll allow us to pull away from the body here, just like that. And now we have plenty of room to work back in the... Okay, so now that we have the paneling apart on the driver's side, I'll go ahead and take this time to point out some of our connection points on the 4-flat connector that we're installing on the vehicle. Okay, going to the driver's side, we're going to be using the connectors with the yellow and brown wire. Also, our 4-flat end will be coming out of that same side. Our power control module will be also tucked in this side area. We'll be mounting our ground in there as well, and running our power wire to our battery from this position as well. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these connection points here. Okay, our mating connector for the taillight connector is going to be right here. And to separate this, we're just going to press this button in and pull straight out. Just like that. Okay, and I'll go ahead and make that connection here. Click, you know it's in there. Okay, I'll go ahead and put the other end in. Okay, and that's our connection behind the taillight. Now, while we're here, we'll go ahead and mount the ground wire. You can see that the vehicle already has a few ground posts here that we can go right to. So I'm going to take an 8mm, remove this ground screw, put my screw on there, and then bolt it back down. Okay, and that's it for our ground post. I'm going to go ahead and route our power wire that goes from our converter box to the battery underneath the vehicle on this side. So what I'm looking for is some type of flood plug or wiring harness plug going down underneath, and it looks like there's a perfect flood plug right here. I'm going to go ahead and just take this off, and we can see straight down underneath the vehicle. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a drill, put a hole in here so I can push my wire through that. Okay. We've got our hole drilled in our flood plug. Now we're going to go ahead and take the provided wire to run to the battery. And we're going to feed it underneath the vehicle into the hole here, just about 6 or 8 inches of wire. And we'll go ahead and put the flood plug back in. Just going to push it through. Give us about 6 inches. Now we're going to take the power wire, the black wire from the converter box. We're going to connect the two together using a butt connector. Push the wire in, crimp it. Take our other end from the converter box, push the wire in, crimp it. Okay, and that's our power wire connection in the back here. Now we can go ahead and take our flood plug and just push it back into its position here. Okay, now that we're all cleaned up here on the driver's side, I'll point out some of our connection points here. Here is the taillight connector, the power converter box, the white wire is the ground wire going to its ground post. We have our black wire going underneath our vehicle, and that's through the flood plug. And that'll be going up towards the battery, and I'll show that to you later in the video. Okay, let's go ahead and get this closed up and cleaned up. I went ahead and pulled out the 4-flat harness here, as well as the passenger side taillight connector. It is the green wire. We'll go ahead and put this aside so that we can close. Okay, now we're just taking our passenger side taillight connector, routing it over to the passenger side of the vehicle. We're tucking it under some of the carpeting here. Okay, we'll go ahead and set that aside. We'll take our trim tool, find the clip, and it's going to push towards the front of the vehicle and then out. There it is. Now we'll just pull straight out. So now that we have this clip out, there is one hidden clip underneath the paneling here on the trunk lid arm, near the trunk lid arm. You're just gonna reach your hand inside there, squeeze the bottom of it, and then push up and away. And that'll allow the rest of the paneling to come right out. Now while I have this paneling out, I'll point out the clip here. And then one more, follow my hand down here. That is the clip towards the rear of the taillight. We can go ahead and take our taillight connector and make our connections back here. Okay, again, just like the driver's side, we're gonna press in the button here and just lift up. Okay, find our mating ends here. Okay, and I'll take a zip tie and clean this up and make sure it's not bouncing around back here. Sure we get our clips back into place. Really helps when you just push and or pull on the bottom portion of this paneling. Get it pushed back into the clip at the back towards the tail light. Okay, and that's it. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure that we have our green wire tucked under the carpet here, going towards the center. We don't want that green wire up in this area. These are moving parts that will cut it. So now we'll go ahead and put a few zip ties on the green wire going to the passenger side. That way it comes more out of the center of the trunk area. There we go. We'll cut off our excess. Put our foam pads back in. That's on the driver's side, now on the passenger side. Then we're going to take our 8mm socket with a ratchet, tighten it up. Okay, put our lid over the screw there, flip it down. And we're just going to line up our clips with the holes here in the body. And once you get those guys lined up, you're just simply going to tap down on the whole center panel here. It just locks it into place. Okay, and then we have our two plastic fasteners. Push fastener, so you just line it up with the hole and push straight in. Okay, so we have the passenger side connector put in, we have the driver side connector put in, the ground wire and the power wire going underneath the vehicle. I've left the 4-flat coming out of the spare tire cargo area. I'll show you how that works a little bit later. So right now I'm going to go ahead and put this vehicle up on a ramp so I can show you running the wire up to the front of the vehicle for the battery connection. We have our wire coming down through the flood plug. You can see it's away from the exhaust here. And basically we're going to take all this wire, we're going to run it down next to or tied to the brake line up to the firewall and up underneath, right underneath the brake reservoir, and that's going to be right next to our battery. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you have plenty of zip ties. That way it keeps your wire away from any moving parts or hot parts. And we'll just kind of zip tie as we go along every few feet. So I have the wire ran underneath the vehicle up to the firewall, right below the battery area and the brake reservoir area. I can't reach my hand up just to push it all the way up to this battery here. So what I'm gonna do is take some heavy gauge wire here. I'm gonna fish it down right into the area of where I left off underneath the firewall there. Once this drops down, I'll tape the two together and then just pull straight back up and have my wire up here where I need to connect to the battery. Okay, now we're going back underneath and we're going to tape the two wires together. Once we've done that, we can go back up to the engine compartment and just pull it straight up. We're going to tape the two together. Okay, there we go. Now we'll just go back up to the top of the engine compartment and pull it straight up. Okay, back at the engine compartment next to the battery and brake reservoir. We're pulling the wire up, and there it is. I'll just pull the slack through and make sure it's nice and tight. Now that we have our wire around, we're going to cut it to fit. Next step is we're going to connect our inline fuse holder and fuse to the positive side of the battery. And to do that, we've got a complete loop here. We'll cut the loop, make two ends. We're going to connect our eyelet here. Make a crimp. Okay, we can go ahead and remove this nut off the positive side of the battery. Slide the ring terminal over the battery post, tighten it back up. Okay, now we're going to connect the two ends together here with a butt connector so that we can have the copper out. Okay, I'll grab our butt connector and connect the two together. Now we're ready to put the fuse in and power up our converter box, and then we'll clean it up with some zip ties and that'll be it. Okay, now we're going to take our provided 15 amp fuse, we're going to put it in the inline fuse holder, and that's it. Our 4 flat is powered up. And close the dust cover here. Now that's all we have left to do is zip tie up any of the excess wiring. So let's see our end result here. We have a 4 flat. It's got the ground post. We've got our running lights, left turn, right turn. When you're ready to use this, you'll just pull it out of the trunk, let it sit on the door seal there. Close the door. It'll seal right over the wires without damaging them. I'll open up the trunk again just to show you exactly where we shut it on. You can see that there's no damage, no pinching. And then when you're ready to put it back in the trunk, you're not using it anymore, you can just fold it up, open up your spare tire door here, tuck it down inside. That way it's not sitting in your trunk. Thanks for watching our video. Have fun and be safe. Get outdoors.
To learn more about the products seen in this video or to schedule an installation by U-Haul Hitch Professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.